All right, I just caught a Western Diamondback, and I gotta go let it go. It's now finally warm enough at night that snakes are gonna be active at night. Well, today. Well, I mean, like right now. Give it another few hours, and we have another storm coming in. It's been very windy today, and these are all things that get snakes moving. So I'll flip this around if I can figure out how to do that so you can see what I'm looking at. But yeah, we have to go out here and find a pack rat nest or similar to release this animal. It's a young Western Diamondback rattlesnake in a backyard. Not even sure how it got there. I think it climbed something. So now we got to find the right situation. And that is the tricky part. I'm not going to go on my usual long rant about the importance of releasing stuff to the right place. I think if you watch our channel at all, you've heard it all. I'm just going to walk through this process. So tomorrow is Easter, and normally Easter can be a little bit of a concern for our team because it's springtime and there's going to be a bunch of kids running around. Oh my god, there's a lot of insects out tonight too. Sticking their hands under bushes and stuff. And if you're in Scottsdale or something, that's a problem. Oh, look at this huge wolf spider. Wow. Those are cool. So we'll put out all kinds of information about that for homeowners, like, hey, maybe like have the Easter egg hunt in a known location and walk it first. And people though, that doesn't really happen. So but tomorrow is going to be real wet starting in a couple hours. I mean, the clouds overhead are already getting low, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of snake activity tomorrow, but today it was certainly active. Okay, so this process, first, one of the challenges in doing relocation work is not often discussed with the distance factor is private property. We cannot be trespassing anywhere. We can't be taking a snake and putting it on someone else's property. We rely on public land and need to find access to places that are adjacent to those locations. So sometimes we're in a place where it would actually be pretty easy to get to the mountain in a place that the snake should go, but we can't just, we can't hop a fence. We have to come in, drive around the other side, and hike it in, sometimes just to end up 100 feet from where we wanted to go. That's kind of the case here. So if you're looking at this going, oh, why are you walking it so far? Well, I'm not walking it far. It's taking a long walk to get to where I want to go. You also hear that traffic in the distance. There was a study that I read years ago that relocation, the conclusion was relocation doesn't work. All the snakes we released got hit by cars. Well, I mean, don't release the snakes next to the road. That's what happens on a road. Hey Gracie, how you doing? Okay, let's find a pack rat nest. It's not cold out. There's tons of snakes out tonight, I'm sure. There's tons. They just got their spring going and they're about to go back into wintertime. All right, I'm not seeing any rock here. It's pretty typical for this area. I'm not seeing any pack rat nests. I will settle for a gnarled up ironwood or a dead Palo Verde. Any of that would be good. I also got to make sure not to step on any snakes here while I'm going out. Okay. There will be something. We actually got out and found some snakes today. Jeff and I hadn't done that in a while. We ended up going to, well, there's not going to be a video about it, unfortunately, because we had some high hopes for a certain species and started, recording the episode and doing all the intros and all that. And we got out there and hiked into the night, didn't see what we were looking for at all. And I just, sometimes we just don't, if there's nothing interesting to show, we'll just stop what we're doing. And that's what I did. I stopped filming, and then this morning we had some cool stuff. We found a speckled rattlesnake in a range where they're very difficult to find. Okay, this little area here looks like it's good. There's a little bit of hilly stuff here. Let's see what we get. Old road dumping stuff. Large Palo Verde. No pack rats. Okay. What we got up here? Yes, this does matter. This is the point of the whole thing. This is why we say when you put the snake in a bucket, that's not the job, because anybody can put a snake in a bucket. It takes a real moron to walk around in the dark for a half hour to find a spot to release a snake. Okay. Here's a minor drainage that has a lot of deadfall off this ironwood. This is going to be the spot. It's not perfect, but there's not a lot of dynamics out here, and this actually, especially for a young snake, which this is, it's gonna be just fine. Thanks for the comments, guys. That's good. Just because in another universe on Facebook right now, there's like people that are saying that we plant these snakes, or this is the fun part, we only want to keep them alive because we make money from relocating them. Like, not as much as you think. I mean, this is a wild idea that will blow people like that's mind. But when people go to work, they get a paycheck. That's how things go. And I'm the owner of the business, so I do not get paid for this part. Anyway, yeah, this is a beautiful young diamondback. Hey, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can see its tail. So it's a young snake. That is, this snake is probably last year's baby, since it's shed now. 3 times. So yeah, this thing probably was born in early season last year, July or so. So it's a good sized last year's baby. Western diamondback, looks like a young male. Nice high contrast snake. Didn't rattle or anything, very easy to capture. So this is not going to be a super long video. I just wanted to share with you what I could. Easy going snake. So we'll make sure it gets down there into the deep cover. So this snake's young enough too that it can easily adapt more so than an old snake, but good cover like this, he's gonna be just fine. I mean, look at this stuff. Yeah, this goes down deep. Let's go hide. The reason I stress them out like this at the end, if you see that, is because we want them to go down. They don't understand what's going on here. So you'll have a snake that you think is going into a hole, and you look, it's just crawled out the other side and heading out into the dark. Like, oh, we didn't just work all this hard to find the perfect spot to have you crawl out, dude. Yeah, that's a very chill snake. It's all a lot of them are. I mean, it's kind of a funny thing, like when you get these dudes that are they just insist on how these others super aggressive. Yeah, they can certainly rattle and strike and look scary. I get that, and that can be dangerous. I get that too. But it's just funny how important that mischaracterization of their actual behavior is. You know, I mean, it's not lost on us at all that the more experience and knowledge anybody has with rattlesnakes, the less they worry about them. That is an interesting take that if people actually, you know, once they realize that there isn't a point anymore. Like if there's something like that is a fact, that the more you know about it, the more time you spend interfacing with that thing that people fear, the less of a big deal it seems to be. That's pretty telling. So I don't want to get bit by a snake, but it's easy enough not to do. We had a cool experience today. I was with Jeff and Chris and Rich, a couple friends of mine. We were out looking for snakes today, and we found a pretty large western diamondback. It was the first one I'd ever seen in the particular range, and it didn't rattle. It gave a big hiss like that and looked at me, and I was standing maybe, I don't know, 8 feet away from it with Jeff, and so we just held still to see what it was going to do. Got a couple pictures of it sitting there in the grass, and then waited, and then just a minute later it started bobbing its head on the ground with quick, rapid tongue flicks, touching the ground, moving its head side to side, which means it's tracking something. So it's either going to be tracking prey or it's going to be tracking another snake. And there's a difference between how that happens. If it's tracking prey, they are usually very flighty. They will be easily disrupted and they will not resume. So they might, but in most cases, it takes a long time and the snake will just retreat and not re-engage really quickly. But in this case, it only took a minute and the snake had resumed its tracking behavior. There's this just kind of belligerent behavior that a snake looking for a female will display, and that's what he was doing. So we knew then that, okay, there's another snake here somewhere. And I started climbing up a little pile of boulders off to the right, and Jeff spotted it. It was a female sitting up slope on a pretty steep little cliff, 10 feet away from the male. And then we just sat there for the next half hour, like rooting for this male to like figure it out and like learn how to climb up the rocks and get it sorted out and find the female, which he did. And then they eventually ended up about an hour later mating. He was really trying though. So it's kind of interesting. We have a lot of little experiences like that where we see an animal doing something, and it's just nice to kind of be able to interpret those little behaviors. And in some cases it leads you to cool things. Like we would have, if we weren't watching that, we would have not known there was another snake there. I'm just looking at this. This is a little pile of trash that someone put here. Someone dumped it here. spot to see a snake, actually. That's what I'm looking here. Let's see. There's this little tunnel under it. Yeah, that's down there. I'll quit messing around. Look at it here. Well, I think if I really wanted to focus on it tonight, I could go find some more snakes, but I'm not gonna, just because I know it's not an optimal night, and we are kind of gearing up mentally and physically to spend the next 6 months of intense field work, of not a lot of sleep, many miles every week. A lot of gas station food. So I'm gonna go home and spend the last maybe cool day of the year or the season just hanging out with my daughter on Easter. Just to hang out. Maybe we'll eat some jelly beans. I really like just the cheapest jelly beans you can get. I don't know why, but that's my thing. And Easter's the only time of year that I can just have a whole ass bag of those, and no one's gonna give me any shit for it. It's no one cares. Oh, okay, this dude has a giant bag of Brax jelly beans, just going for it, and 0 people in my family are gonna side eye that at all. All right. Car is coming up, but thanks for joining me on this. Maybe I'll try doing this again. Well, I don't know. We're still kind of trying to figure out what kind of formats and stuff works. This is all between YouTube and Shorts and TikTok and Reels and posts and store. We're just trying to put as much stuff as we can everywhere and see what happens. See what actually gets gets the clicks. Feels so stupid, but that's what we're doing. Where is my car? Uh-oh. Do I live here now? I hear the road. Look at all this grass this year. Oh my God. Okay, there's cars. All right. Thank you. I'll see you later.